Feature for May 11, 2026. Professed Associates in Youth Serving the Holy Altar Together. The Venerable Louis Curbs founded the Viatorians in part to serve the Holy Altar, and Father Curbs envisioned priests and lay collaborators working together to sustain strong liturgy for parishes. At St. Viator Catholic Community in Las Vegas, which Viatorians have led since founding it in 1954, many Viatorian religious and associates collaborate to prepare and lead rich liturgy and nourish a strong parish community, especially for young people. A culture of committed service. Earlier this month, St. Viator had First Communion. Associates Deborah and Romeo Perez are not on parish staff, and their children did First Communion many years ago. Nonetheless, it was on their family calendar. No special reason, it's just an important event at the parish, Deborah said. I'm not even sure what role I might have, but we keep it on the calendar to keep us engaged in all that our parish is doing. Different families have different motivations. The Perez family commits out of community. Sometimes parents just help while their kids are in a program. Viatorians at St. Viator are largely community-driven, Deborah explained. We take part in lots of things year after year across the parish and school because the community life is important to us. That's what we do at St. Viator. Associate Rosie Hartz, coordinator of faith formation and youth ministry, has the same mindset with the calendar she gives teens families. Holy Week was on our youth calendar, Rosie said, not because of any program requirements, but simply because it is an essential time in the liturgical year. We had special roles for youth at the liturgies, and including youth in liturgy shows them how they're central to our community. Our Viatorian priests try to help churches around the Archdiocese of Las Vegas, but they of course have a particular affinity for assisting at our namesake parish, as was the case in our former ministries, St. Thomas More Catholic Community and Guardian Angel Cathedral. Interim pastor Father Tom Von Maren has lived a few stints in Las Vegas, including the past 9 years since concluding his third term as provincial in 2017. He affirms this long-running culture among his brothers. These are Viatorians who are willing to help and are gifted preachers and Sunday presiders, Father Tom said. What a gift for the parish and pastors as well. Parochial Vicar Father Dan Bellinger, who will succeed Father Tom as permanent pastor on July 1st, welcomes and values this tradition, which extends also to his retired housemate in the rectory, Father Bill Hassert. Father Bill might not say Mass on his own, but he loves to be invited to join us. He comes to the school Masses on Wednesdays like clockwork, and he loves to take part in the 10 a.m. Sunday Mass to be around the children's liturgy, Father Dan said. St. Viator lives out parish community, and this teamwork by our priests lives out our religious community. Longtime parishioner Marty Flynn assists with liturgy, sacramental preparation, adult faith formation, and more, and he appreciates the Viatorians' consistent example. The gift given to me by so many Viatorians over the years is to look at the next person that comes to us as Christ knocking on our door, Marty said. Whether they need a sacrament for themselves or a family member, support in a crisis, or just someone to see them and listen, we're inspired to see not a customer, an interruption, or a burden, but instead see Christ. Pre-associate Jen Jones first came to St. Viator during college and continued belonging as she got married, had children, and joined the school faculty, because she witnessed this strength. The priests really want to be here and involved. The children and the parents really want to be involved. There's a genuine place for everyone, Jen said. I can see how crucial youth group is, and how so many Viatorians have been a huge part of that here. Rosie is so integral to that, and she includes so many other Viatorians, such as Deborah, in animating and leading it. Serving the altar in Holy Week. During Holy Week, the robust liturgical culture at St. Viator fires on all cylinders. Palm Sunday kicks off a big week of liturgy with a Mass that incorporates an additional opening gospel, blessing of palms, and lengthy narrative gospel. Rather than depend on one person or small group for this intensive day, it's a collaborative ministry. Father Tom, Pastor Emeritus Father Richard Rinn, and Father Mick Egan each celebrated a Mass, and Associate Deacon Michael Underwood assisted with 2 of them. On Tuesday of Holy Week, Lenten Taizé prayer gathered the parish for contemplative reflection, and a ton of Viatorians participated, helped lead music, and prepared the service. For Holy Thursday, a bevy of Viatorians served the Holy Altar. Associate Paul Mertzman donned white gloves to play with the youth handbell choir. Father Tom, Father Dan, Father Richard, Father Mick, and Father Bill celebrated Mass, and Deacon Mike assisted. Father Dan washed the feet of parishioners, including Jen, youth group members, and a student from the school's inclusive MICA program. And Father Dan led the Eucharistic procession to the altar of repose, with young people as altar servers and candle bearers. Amid a lot of parish transition and change, our Holy Week traditions were a burst of energy and familiarity, Rosie said. Father Dan particularly does a great job of keeping young people at the center of liturgy. On Good Friday, Father Dan led a veneration of the cross alongside a portrayal of the Stations of the Cross. Then, after Holy Saturday, the Easter Vigil brought the evening Paschal fire to herald the joyful celebration of salvation history, as well as the initiation of those becoming Catholics. Father Tom blessed the fire, and Father Dan processed the newly lit Easter candle into the church. Deacon Mike proudly presented catechumens and candidates from the Becoming Catholic program he directs, with Associate Kathy Underwood, his wife, on the core team. Kathy, Romeo, and Pre-Associate Kathy Flynn all sponsored Order of Catholic Initiation for Adults participants. Father Tom baptized and confirmed several people, including a dad who Romeo sponsored, who had special inspiration. The son really steered the ship on that. He said to his parents, "I'm getting confirmed this spring, and I want you guys to do this too," Deborah said. Young church is my favorite church identity. Our young people speak up and say they want to be part of Viatorian Youth Congress, want to serve at church, and want to take leadership roles. Father Dan will strive to sustain this as pastor. I want to engage the whole congregation from young to old. I want to connect people to the liturgy and give them a place to be participative and involved, with art and environment, processions and candles, and many liturgical ministries, Father Dan said. I want to find out how I can incorporate people's ideas and gifts and bring them into this ministry together. The strength of the community-wide effort. The Viatorian community is well represented in a myriad of ministries in educational leadership, catechesis, service to the young, leadership in youth ministry, and more. And we are blessed to have many young people who lead us in so many ways, Father Tom said. Deborah appreciates how Viatorian associates have set the course by understated example. We have a parish mindset of giving our time, talent, and treasure. Everyone can contribute in their own way, whether a little from each of those three buckets, or by focusing on just one. People like Associate Sonia Browers, who lectors and ushers and helps out so much, set a simple and beautiful example of being around and involved in parish life. She has never told me anything particular. She just sets the tone, Deborah said. Over time, Viatorian associates have imparted our presence and identity more and more, along with our Viatorian priests here. Fundamentally in our Catholic Church, we need our priests to be ministers of the sacraments. Many parishes have a mix of lay people helping in liturgical life, and at St. Viator, the liturgical ministry of both professed and associates reflects our charism and community life. Our religious brothers and lay associates, who similarly desire to serve the Holy Altar, team up with our priests to animate dynamic, participative, collaborative liturgical life. At St. Viator, serving at the Holy Altar means much more than just the ordained, celebrating the Eucharist and proclaiming the Word. It means we all embrace the entire liturgical service, welcoming at the front door, helping with the collection, serving as music ministers, proclaiming the Word as lectors, and serving as Eucharistic ministers at Mass and for the homebound, Father Tom explained. And this is all not just a catchphrase or a sign on the wall. It's something people can witness in the life of the community. We are a Viatorian parish embracing our charism of service to the Holy Altar, serving the youth and inviting the youth to serve with us, taking the call to be catechists seriously through our youth and adult education programs, and reaching out to those accounted of little importance, Father Tom said. I believe people see the difference. People know that we are a Viatorian parish, not only by what we say, but by what we do. Special thanks to St. Viator parishioner Jan Bellinghausen for sharing her outstanding Holy Week photos.